Hey everyone, it's Sam here from Sugar Spun Run, and today I'm showing you how to make my favorite vanilla cupcakes. Every good baker needs a classic go-to vanilla cupcake recipe, and this one is my favorite. It's super simple to make and it yields soft, buttery, springy, light, moist, I could go on forever, perfect vanilla cupcakes. I really think you guys are going to love this one, so let's get right to it. The first thing you'll want to do is preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, you are going to need 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and it's really important that this butter be softened to room temperature. We're going to add this to the bowl of a stand mixer today, but if you don't have a stand mixer, you can just use a large bowl and an electric hand mixer instead. Now, for all of you who like to bake using weights, don't forget I always provide metric measurements in the description below or over on my blog. Now, the next thing you're going to need is 3/4 cup of granulated sugar. We'll add this in with our butter. And I'm also going to add 1/4 cup of tightly packed light brown sugar. Now, a lot of vanilla cupcake recipes stick to just plain regular granulated sugar. I feel that this small addition of brown sugar really helps bring out a great flavor and adds a nice moistness to the cupcakes. So now we're going to use the paddle attachment on our stand mixer, and we're going to cream together the butter and the sugar until it is completely creamy and well combined. It's really important when you're making these cupcakes that you don't have any lumps from the butter remaining, so make sure everything is nicely creamed together. Now, I always recommend stopping periodically to scrape the sides and bottom of the bowl while you're mixing everything together. You just don't want your mixer to miss anything on the sides or the bottoms. Alright, our butter and sugar are nicely creamed now, so we're going to add 1 large egg, and you want this to be at room temperature. In fact, it's ideal that all of your ingredients be at room temperature. That's going to help them nicely combine, and it's going to give you a nice smooth batter that bakes into nice, perfect vanilla cupcakes. And we'll also add 1½ teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. Just stir everything together again. At this point, we have all of our wet ingredients, or just about all of our wet ingredients, very nicely combined. So we are going to now need a separate bowl to combine our dry ingredients. Now, the first thing you're going to need is 1 1/3 cups of all-purpose flour. Put this in a separate bowl. To this bowl, we're going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And I'm just going to use a whisk to whisk these ingredients together until they're really well combined. So now we're going to actually bring back our wet ingredients, and we are going to need 1 more wet ingredient before we start combining our flour. You are also going to need 3/4 cup of buttermilk, and again, it's better if this is at room temperature. So what we're going to do now is we're going to gradually alternate adding our dry ingredients and our buttermilk to our wet ingredients, starting and ending with the dry ingredients. Now, I'm also, as you might have noticed, I've taken my bowl off of my stand mixer, and I'm going to do this by hand. I'm going to use my spatula to very gently fold in the ingredients, starting with the flour and then the buttermilk and then the flour, because doing this by hand keeps us from over mixing our batter. If you over mix this batter, you can actually end up with dense, dry cupcakes, and you don't want that. We'll start by adding about 1/3 of the flour mixture and just gently stirring this in, followed by some of our buttermilk. So as you can see, after I add each ingredient, I'm just stirring until it's mostly absorbed by the batter and then moving on to adding the next. So our batter is looking pretty good, so now you're going to want to grab a 12-count muffin tin, and you're going to want to line this with paper liners. Alternatively, you can grease and flour every cavity. That will be fine too. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to portion the batter into each muffin liner, and I like to use an ice cream scoop. It just makes the process a little bit neater. There's one thing I really want to mention about filling up your muffin liners is you do not want to fill them more than 3/4 of the way full. In fact, I really recommend just filling them about 2/3 of the way full. If you fill them up too much, they're going to spread over your cupcake tin. They can deflate after they come out of the oven, so really do not overfill them. And if you have any leftover batter, it's better to discard that rather than to try to fill up your muffin tins any more than you need to. We'll transfer our vanilla cupcakes to our 350 degree Fahrenheit preheated oven, where they will need to bake for about 17 to 18 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean, or preferably with a few moist crumbs. Make sure you let your vanilla cupcakes cool completely in the muffin tin before you remove them, and especially before you frost them. So I've let these cool for enough time that they're no longer warm at all, and I'm actually going to be covering them today with my chocolate cream cheese frosting. You can use whatever frosting you would like. I'm going to leave several links in the description below. First, I'll leave the link to the chocolate cream cheese because this one is really good. So I'm going to frost them. And if you're wondering, this is just a large Attico tip. It's an 846. And you know I'm gonna top these off with sprinkles. My husband is dying behind the camera right now because he hates it when I use sprinkles because he finds them everywhere for the rest of the week. Okay, once you've decorated them, your vanilla cupcakes are ready to enjoy. I really think you guys are going to love how moist and flavorful and soft these are. These are my favorite vanilla cupcakes. If you guys try this one out, please leave me a comment and let me know what you think. I would really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Hey, if you guys enjoyed today's vanilla cupcake recipe, I would really appreciate it if you would give me a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe and please hit that notification bell. Also, if you enjoyed today's cupcake recipe, here are a few others you might like as well.